Naruto, God Level System Author, Blue Water God. Chapter 71, 60 Million Volts Thunder Dragon. Early in the morning, Xiaonan was woken up by the screams of killing outside. This group of dog days beats me every day, making me anxious. Believe it or not, I will destroy you all. Xiaonan rubbed his eyes and said unhappily. Outside, the ninjas of the Rock Ninja Village and the ninjas of the Rain Ninja Village were fighting. He opened the window and looked at the dozen or so ninjas fighting outside. Xiaonan wanted to crush them to death. Xiaonan and the others have been staying in this hotel for 9 days, and these 2 gangs of turtle grandchildren have been here 3 days ago, and they have been fighting. Not a few people have died, but the sound is loud. The fight started at 3 in the morning, day and night, so noisy that Xiaonan couldn't sleep at all. I'm so off. I'm going to kill them. Kushina also got up from the tatami angrily. Forget it. You rest. I'm going to deal with them. These are still addicted here. Xiaonan stopped Kushina, and then disappeared as a thunderbolt. In the blink of an eye, he appeared in the middle of the 10 ninjas, floating in the sky, looking down at them indifferently. Stinky brat, who are you? Get out of here quickly. The leader Yuren looked at Xiaonan standing in the air and roared unhappily. It was pouring rain in the sky, but not a single drop fell on Xiaonan. All of them bypassed Xiaonan. This is Xiaonan's repulsive force with tensai eyes to repel the rain outside. Look at the forehead guard on your head. You are Konoha's little devil. The ability to fly in the sky, is it a secret technique or the limit of blood? The leader among the rock ninjas, Xiaonan, analyzed. The torrential rain in the past few days has made me so noisy. Now you are still disturbing the people. Now I will send you to the pure land of bliss. I don't want to talk nonsense with you. 60 million volts Thunder Dragon. A dragon-shaped thunderbolt hit the ground, and after a loud bang, the conduction of rainwater instantly turned the dozen or so ninjas into coke. He clenched his fist. This is the first time that Xiaonan has used the ability of the Thunder Fruit in the true sense. In fact, Xiaonan was not satisfied. First of all, in terms of speed, the speed of the Thunder Fruit is indeed fast, but compared with the Sparkling Fruit, it is really not comparable. The attack power is not much stronger than that of Twinkle Fruit, and the maximum range damage is stronger, but it does not greatly enhance the strength of Xiaonan, that is, an additional attack method, which strengthens the domineering. But this did not satisfy Xiaonan. He regretted eating the fruit of the Thunderbolt. If he gave this fruit to Mikoto or Tsunade, it would definitely be more useful than Xiaonan himself. Forget it. It's been eaten anyway. It's useless to regret it, and lightning is the most explosive energy in nature. If it is used in conjunction with a glittering fruit, the power should be stronger. Thinking of this, Xiaonan had a new idea. Compared with the Thunder Fruit, the destructive power of the glittering fruit is indeed inferior, but the penetrating power of the laser is stronger than that of the Thunder Fruit. If they are combined together and learn from each other's strengths, won't they become stronger? However, this still requires the development of Xiaonan, but it should not be too easy to do, because when Xiaonan uses the ability of the glittering fruit, he cannot use the thundering fruit. And when Xiaonan uses the thunder fruit, he can't use the sparkling fruit, and the 2 fruit abilities cannot be used at the same time. If this problem can't be solved, it's all empty talk. Xiaonan turned into a flash, and returned to the hotel in an instant. If he moved in a straight line, Xiaonan still felt that the fruit of the flash was easy to use. If it is in battle, perhaps the thunder fruit is easier to use, and generally speaking, it has its own strengths and weaknesses. It's resolved so quickly, Kushina said in surprise. Although I knew that with Xiaonan's strength, it would not take too long to solve them, but it was too fast. Xiaonan shrugged, who made the environment of the land of rain more suitable for the fruit of thunder. When a thunderbolt passes by, you don't have to hit people, and they can be easily extinguished by the conduction of rain. Where's Mikoto? Go and prepare breakfast. Boom. 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 There was a quick knock on the door. Chen, those were killed by lightning just now. Xiaonan walked over and opened the door, looking at Nawaki unhappily. You've been yelling all day long. You're a jerk. Shang Shu looked excited. Chen, those ninjas who disturbed the people were just killed by the flashing lightning. I know this. Xiaonan came out and found that others were also here. Come down together, and the whole hotel is left with them. Because of the arrival of those ninjas, the boss and other passengers have already run away a few days ago. The rain is getting heavier and heavier, or we don't have to wait. We have been waiting for almost 10 days. When will we wait? Hinata Rizari suggested. Walking in this heavy rain will make you sick, and there are ninjas fighting outside. So just wait. Nara Shikahisa shook his head. I really don't know why you are panicking. It's good to watch the rain here. Compared with the others, Xiaonan was much calmer. Chen, this is the country of rain, and life is in danger at any time here. Nara Shikahisa gave a wry smile. It's all your fault, Nawaki. You insist on taking this mission. Yamanaka complained to Nawaki. After chatting for a while, Mikoto brought the breakfast. This was the breakfast that Mikoto and Uzumaki Tomoko made together. After breakfast, Xiaonan, Mikoto and Kushina 730 sat in front of the door watching the rain. Everyone else slumped on the table listlessly. Someone is coming. From the southeast, there is 1 Xiaonan and 6 genin. Listening to Xianchen's indifferent words, the people lying on the table sat up in shock, and Rizai opened his eyes decisively, and indeed saw that the 7 groups of chakras were approaching. Exactly, I'm so bored. Nawaki stood up excitedly. Others are genin who have gone through life and death battles. You don't need to be careless about Shengshu, or I will collect your corpse for you in a while. Xianchen teased. Don't underestimate me. After a while, 7 people in ninja costumes appeared in front of the hotel. Brother, there are actually a group of little devils here. Just kill it. The Chunin, known as the eldest brother, had an extremely cold expression. Brother, look at the 4 head guards on their heads. They are Konoha's ninjas. We should not provoke them. A person next to them reminded. Chunin, who took the lead, was stunned for a moment, and then said, what are you afraid of? Anyway, we have no fixed place to live. Konoha can't come and kill us for a few little ghosts, not to mention that the country of rain is so chaotic. Who knows we did it? As the ninjas of the great ninja village, they should have some ninjutsu on them. The leading Chunin had fiery eyes, and the 6 genin who followed behind also showed fiery eyes. Chapter 72, Destroying the Wandering Ninja. Look at this group of chickens, they seem to be wandering ninjas. I'll leave it to you. Xianchen glanced at them and lost interest. The strength of the wandering ninjas is weak, and even those who are chased and killed look down on the wandering ninjas. Most of the wandering ninjas accidentally obtained the chakra refining technique, and then became ninjas through self-cultivation, because no one taught them and there was no ninjutsu. Their strength was generally not strong. It is estimated that these guys came to Uran village to pick up leeks. These guys can be handed over to others. Xianchen and the others are not weak. For example, Minato Namikaze, Roshu, and Tomoko Uzumaki all have the strength of Chunin. Although there is no combat experience, if you can't even solve these ninjas, it is considered that they are born in a big ninja village and a big family. Of course there's no problem. Nawaki, who was fighting for the first time, couldn't help but feel excited. A bunch of hateful little devils, they dare to look down on us. The boss of Chunin was furious in the face of the ninjas in the ninja village. In fact, these wandering ninjas have a little inferiority complex, but the opposite is just a group of little devils, and they dare to look down on them, which makes them angry. He even added all the anger that the ninjas who came out of Ninja Village had previously received on Xianchen and the others, showing bloodthirsty murderous aura in their eyes. Don't look at the strength of these wandering ninjas, but people definitely don't kill them. The survival of wandering ninjas depends on burning, killing and looting those civilians, and their murderous aura is not small. The murderous aura they released in an instant made Roshu and Minato Namikaze a little terrified, and they lost half of the fight before they even started. Nawaki, Minato, Yugi said you want to be Hokage. The murderous aura they get from killing chickens scare you off. It's really a shame for chickens. Xianchen said disdainfully. Who is afraid? I will be afraid of them. Agitated by Xianchen, Nawaki immediately jumped up, the fear in his eyes disappeared, and he looked at the group of wandering ninjas aggressively. I don't know how to live or die. Let you know how big the gap is between you and the real ninjas. Ninjas can't be called ninjas just because they have a ninja forehead. The leader said unhappily. Chakra gathered at his feet, then disappeared from the sight of Roshu and others in an instant, and appeared behind Roshu in the blink of an eye, and the kunai in his hand stabbed at the back of Roshu. It's really vulnerable. The leader Chunin suddenly showed a smug smile. Just when he was proud, the Nawaki that he stabbed suddenly turned into wood, which changed the face of the leader Chunin. Behind you, sir, we'll help you. One of the men reminded, and then rushed forward. It was impossible for Minato and the others to watch, and they directly blocked the 6 genin, and Minato directly blocked 2 genin by himself. Not to mention the trio of pigs, deer and butterflies. Luju used the secret technique and shadow imitation technique to control the enemy, and then Dingza used the technique of doubling to kill one directly. Yamanaka Kaiji used the technique of turning his heart around, and controlled one of the lower ninjas to kill himself by wiping his neck. As soon as they came into contact, 2 wandering ninjas died. Among the remaining 4 genin, Minato is fighting with 2 genin, which looks very relaxed, and one has been beaten to death by Hyuga Rizai with Bagu and 32 palms. The other was controlled by the King Kong blockade of Tomoko Uzumaki. The 2 sides fought for less than half a minute, and these wandering ninjas were about to cool down. It has to be said that they are real dishes. The leading Chunin saw this scene, and his heart was cold. Is this the ninja of the great ninja village? It's just a bunch of little devils, and they can be easily dealt with. While making this Chunin jealous, it also created fear. Roshu, who was fighting this Chunin, saw that he was actually distracted, and immediately seized the opportunity, knocked him back with a punch, and then formed a seal with his hands. Water escape water dragon ball technique. The weather in the land of rain has always blessed the water escape, and with the huge amount of chakra of the Nawaki, the huge water dragon instantly swallowed this wandering Chunin and beat him into a blood clot. Ouch! Nawaki, who had been handsome for 3 seconds, spat out at once. Nawaki, why did you make it so bloody? Next to him, Hyuga Riza and the others smelled the blood and looked at the minced meat all over the place, and their faces turned pale for a while. It's also the first time I've used this ninjutsu on a person. How did I know it would cause such a situation? Nawaki was holding onto the wall next to him and was vomiting continuously. On the other side, Namikaze Minato also slashed the neck of one genin with kunai, and then cut off the head of the other genin with a wind escape and wind cutting technique. These people look good, but are they actually vulnerable? Said the recovered Nawaki. Killing a Chunin has made him become arrogant. Killing a ninja who doesn't even know how to use ninjutsu is nothing to be proud of. When you see a real strong man, you will know that you are weak. Xiaonan couldn't help but attack. He did this also for the good of Shengshu. There is no benefit to being arrogant, and Shengshu's strength can only be regarded as quite satisfactory, not strong. Don't say encountering Shangren, even encountering an elite Chunin, you can let him die thoroughly. Hurry up and change your clothes. If you have a cold and fever, I won't help you find medicine. Xiaonan reminded. Although the battle ended quickly, the rain was so heavy that they were soaked all over now. Find it separately, and after finding it, everyone except the nine-tailed man's Yulai was killed. Xiang coldly instructed. The 10-person team behind the Blood Eagle dispersed immediately, and split up to search for Xiaonan and their whereabouts. Kenji Yamada is actually dead. Who killed him? Blood Eagle looked at the ruins ahead. This was Kenji Yamada's mansion, but it had been burned to ruins by the shadow clone of Hyuga Chen. No matter what, we must bring back the nine-tailed man's Yulai before Anbu, so that we can live up to the expectations of Danzo-sama. When talking about Danzo, Xiang had a frenzied expression on his face. Blood Eagle is Danzang's most trusted subordinate, and also the strongest subordinate in his hands. His strength has reached the peak of quasi-shadow, and he is infinitely close to the shadow level. He is one of Danzang's trump cards. Danzo wouldn't have sent him if he hadn't paid too much attention to the nine-tailed man's Eri. After standing in front of the ruins for a long time, the Blood Eagle left here. Not long after the Blood Eagle left, another team dressed in similar clothes to the Blood Eagle also arrived here. Minister Matsuda, there are footprints here. One of the Jounin pointed to the messy footprints. It seems that someone is one step ahead of us, and we don't know whether it is an enemy or a friend. Matsuda's expression became solemn. Search separately. When you encounter a target, send a signal bomb directly, and when you encounter ninjas in other villages, don't start a conflict for the time being. The task is the most important thing. Matsuda instructed his subordinates. Chapter 73 Meeting Xiaonan. In this ghost weather, I'm going to get moldy if I'm idle. Go out for a walk. Xiaonan went out alone with an umbrella. But after a while, the umbrella in Xiaonan's hand couldn't hold on anymore and was damaged by the pouring rain. After losing the umbrella, Xiaonan could only repel the rainwater with repulsion. Even if it rains all year round in the country of rain, it can't be so heavy. If it keeps raining like this, the country of rain will soon be submerged. Looking at the still heavy rain, Xiaonan complained. It has been raining heavily for 10 days. If it weren't for the height rain of this town and the drainage pipes all over the town, perhaps the town would have been submerged. Wait 2 more days. If it continues to rain heavily, break up the clouds in the sky. Xiaonan has already decided that if it rains in 2 more days, the clouds will be dispersed, which is not good for Xiaonan. It's difficult walking on the street of the small town in the land of rain. The door on the street was closed, and Xiaonan had been outside for so long, not even seeing a single person. If you don't know it, you might think it's a ghost town. After wandering around the town, Xiaonan was about to go back. Suddenly, he saw a smaller figure sheltering from the rain under an eaves. With blue-purple hair, his body is extremely thin, his face is stained with dirt, his orange eyes are full of pitiful helplessness, and his patched clothes are soaked through and shivering in the cold wind. When he saw that figure, Xiaonan had already recognized her identity, Angel Xiaonan. Now Xiaonan hasn't met Yahiko yet? That's right, just turn Xiaonan back. Xiaonan smiled and walked towards Xiaonan. After hearing the footsteps, Xiaonan couldn't help raising his head, and looked at Xiaonan with pitiful big eyes. Big brother, can you give me something to eat? I haven't eaten for several days. Xiaonan looked at Xiaonan cautiously and asked. Xiaonan came to Xiaonan's side, and then stretched out his hand. After Xiaonan saw it, she immediately closed her eyes, thinking that Xiaonan reached out and wanted to hit her. After waiting for a long time, the pain in her imagination did not come, but a warm palm stroked her hair. What is your name? Xiaonan opened his eyes carefully, looking at Xiaonan with a gentle smile. He couldn't help but relax and whispered, my name is Xiaonan. Big brother, can you give me something to eat? Little Nancy asked again. I didn't bring food with me. When Xiaonan heard the words, he immediately lowered his head in disappointment. But brother, I can take you to have a big meal. How about that? Xiaonan smiled. Seeing Xiaonan's appearance, Xiaonan felt particularly distressed. Many people in Hokage had a tragic experience, and Xiaonan was definitely the most distressed in it. Xiaonan has no dreams of her own in her life, or her dream is to fulfill the dreams of others. Xiaonan is the person who is incompatible with this ninja world. If he lives in a peaceful era, Perhaps Xiaonan will be very happy. But in this ninja world of killing and being killed, if you want to have happiness, you must have the power to look down on everything, otherwise it is destined to be a tragedy. Xiaonan pursued power madly because he didn't want to end in tragedy. When he was cultivating, Xiaonan was even crazier than Mate Kai. Is it okay? Xiaonan's face showed surprise. But he was a little nervous. The long-term wandering career made Xiaonan inevitably have some inferiority complex, so he was a little cautious when facing other people. Of course, from today, you are my sister. As long as I live for one day, I won't let you suffer again. Are you willing? Xiaonan asked softly. Looking at Xiaonan's eyes, Xiaonan's eyes flickered in disbelief. Since his parents died, this was the first time Xiaonan felt warmth. Is it okay? Xiaonan asked this sentence again, with expectation and anxiety in his eyes. Nothing is impossible. You will be my sister in the future. If anyone dares to bully you, I will let him fall into reincarnation forever. Xiaonan reached out and hugged Xiaonan. Big brother let me down. I'm very dirty. Xiaonan said in a panic. Xiaonan didn't speak, and controlled the chakra of the fire attribute, directly covering Xiaonan, steaming the clothes on her body. Being able to use fire attribute chakra to dry wet clothes without igniting them requires extremely fine control of chakra, which is difficult for ordinary people to do. Feeling the dry clothes, Xiaonan was surprised. Big brother, are you a ninja? Xiaonan smiled and didn't speak, holding Xiaonan and walking towards the hotel. Big brother, you should be a god. It's the sent by the heavens to save me. Seeing that not a single drop of the pouring rain fell on her, Xiaonan said softly. Then Xiaonan found a comfortable position in Xiaonan's arms, and then fell asleep. In fact, Xiaonan hadn't slept well for several days. First, the rain was so heavy that he couldn't sleep at all. Second, he didn't dare to sleep, for fear that he would never wake up after falling asleep. In the days of wandering, she has seen many people who fall asleep and never wake up. Looking at the sleeping face of Xiaonan Kyojing, a smile appeared on the corner of Xiaonan's mouth. In the original novel, Xiaonan met Yahiko and started his tragic life. Perhaps if Xiaonan hadn't met Yahiko at the beginning, it might have been even more miserable. But now she met Xiaonan, and Xiaonan assured in her heart that unless he died, no one could hurt Xiaonan. If you make an analogy, Xiaonan is the Marlilan in Conan. He has been giving silently all the time, never asking for anything in return. Such a person can't really be hated, but it will only make people feel pity. After returning to the hotel, he sat at the door and looked up at the Nawaki, looking at Xiaonan who was holding Xiaonan, and suddenly exclaimed, Chen, you don't want to kidnap and sell children. Hearing that, Xiaonan glared at him ruthlessly. Keep your voice down. If you wake up Xiaonan, I'll make you look good. Chen, you're back. Don't say a word when you go out. Is this Duke Sanai, who came downstairs, complained first, then pointed at Xiaonan and asked. Xiaonan is a homeless orphan. It's very pitiful. I met her outside and recognized her as my sister. Sister? Duke Sanai looked at Xiaonan suspiciously. Is Xiaonan such a kind person? When he saw the poor man, he went up to help, and thought he was his sister. Where's Mikoto? Let Mikoto cook some porridge. Xiaonan hasn't eaten for a long time. Looking at Xiaonan who was sleeping soundly in Xiaonan's arms, that thin appearance made Kushina's face show a touch of pity, and then she went to Mikoto and let Mikoto cook porridge. She really wanted to cook by herself, but unfortunately she couldn't. Xiaonan returned to the room, and then gently put Xiaonan on the bed. When he just wanted to get up, he found that Xiaonan was clutching his clothes tightly and refused to let go. Xiaonan glanced at Xiaonan, but didn't get up, just sat on the bed and looked at Xiaonan, who was quiet. Chapter 74, The Enemy Attacks. Xiaonan sat by the bed and took out the cultivation method of immortal mode that he exchanged before. Since the exchange, he has not practiced. Although Xiaonan doesn't plan to practice now, he wants to know about it first. Immortal chakra requires a perfect balance of its own spiritual energy, its own physical energy, and natural energy to be born. Only 1/3 of each can be activated. If it exceeds 1/3, it will be swallowed by the power of nature. If it is less than 1/3, it cannot become immortal mode. The ability of the fairy mode is undoubtedly very strong. In the immortal mode, the strength in all aspects is increased by dozens of times. The power of the technique is also greatly enhanced, and the body will be activated. The pain will be greatly reduced when injured, and the recovery will be enhanced. It can be said that it is a move to comprehensively enhance the strength, and it is still dozens of times stronger. The immortal mode is not against the sky. But the cost of cultivation is also very high, and if you are not careful, you will kill yourself. I have an immortal body, so I can easily sense natural energy, plus my own controllability. It shouldn't be too difficult. Xiaonan muttered to himself. Xiaonan's immortal human body is at least on the same level as Kainzu's Yujian and Otsutsuki Azura, not the pseudo-immortal human body of Kainzu clan and Vortex clan, so in the cultivation of immortal mode, Xiaonan's advantage is doomed. And because of the elementalization of the glitter fruit and the thunder fruit, Xiaonan is not afraid of failure at all. Therefore, For others, the immortal mode is as difficult as reaching the sky, but it is not for Rick Xianchen, which is the difficulty of practicing S-rank ninjutsu. Big brother, I'm really not dreaming. Xiaonan woke up while Rick Xianchen was studying the immortal model. Looking at Xiaonan's eyes, Rick Xianchen smiled slightly, touched Xiaonan's head and said, "Of course you are not dreaming. I have asked your sister Mikoto to cook porridge. Xiaonan will be able to eat hot porridge in a while." Rick Xianchen knew that Xiaonan had been wandering for so long and felt insecure, so he consoled her as much as possible. Just when Xiaonan was about to speak, the door was opened, and Mikoto walked in with a bowl of meat porridge, followed by Kushina. "Your name is Xiaonan, right? Come and let me feed you porridge." Mikoto sat on the bedside with a gentle face, scooped a spoonful with a spoon, blew it lightly, and then handed it to Xiaonan. Xiaonan first glanced at Rick Xianchen, and then drank the meat porridge in one gulp. Soon after the bowl of porridge was finished, a healthy red rime appeared on Xiaonan's sickly pale face. "Mikoto, wash Xiaonan's body, then change into a clean suit." "Yeah, but there doesn't seem to be any suitable clothes. If you wear ours, will it look too big?" Mikoto nodded and said, "When I came back, I picked up a few pieces from the clothing store." Rick Xianchen took out some clothes, which were just right for Xiaonan, who was 4 or 5 years old. In the previous battle between Yanran and Yuran, the entire street was almost wiped out, and there was no one in the clothing store. When Rick Xianchen passed by, he picked up a few clothes suitable for Xiaonan. Rick Xianchen left the room and came downstairs. A group of people were bored watching the rain. When they heard the sound of Rick Xianchen coming down, they turned their heads and glanced. "Chen, listen to the Nawaki. You brought back a little girl?" Minato Namikaze asked with a smile. "Yes, her name is Xiaonan, and she is a very pitiful girl." Rick Xianchen nodded, and then sat in front of the door. "The rain seems to be a little smaller." Looking at the rain, it was obviously much smaller than when he would come from outside. "Yeah, we can leave when the rain is a little lighter," Yamanaka Keiichi said. They have indeed been here enough. This humid environment makes them a little unable to adapt to the land of fire with a suitable climate. Fortunately, this place is very far from the main battlefield, otherwise we would be really in trouble, and this kind of troublesome task should not be taken. "Otherwise I might sleep in Konoha now," Nara Shikahisa complained. "Don't complain, someone is coming. And it's coming for us." Rick Xianchen's domineering look enhanced by the sound of the Thunder Fruit's radio waves clearly sensed that someone was coming. "And I can also hear their conversation, and through the conversation between them, I know that the other party is coming for them, or it is for the nine-tailed person Zuri." After Shengshu and the others heard the words, they immediately became vigilant, and Hyuga Rizari quickly opened his eyes and began to investigate. After a while, Hyuga Ibasi sweated on his forehead, and said with a dry mouth, "There are indeed people, and their chakras are very large. It is initially estimated that it is at least Shangren." "What?" All of a sudden, I couldn't sit still anymore. Shangren was already a high-end fighting force, and it was the main fighting force of the 5 major ninja villages. Although they dealt with a group of wandering ninjas before, they were not arrogant enough to think that they could deal with Junin. There should be reconnaissance ninjas among them, and they are rushing towards the outside. Hinata Nisashi once again said bad news. "Then let's leave as soon as possible," Nara Shika said with an extremely ugly face, no longer being lazy for a long time. "It's too late, but it's just 2 Jonin, don't panic." Rick Xianchen leaned against the doorframe with a calm expression. Nara Shikahisa looked at Rick Xianchen with a wry smile, really calm. "Chen, why are you able to sense the other party? Don't you have a blank eye?" Minato Namafing asked curiously. "Whoever stipulates that only white eyes can detect, is the Uzumaki family, and they also have their own detection skills, which are no worse than white eyes." Rick Xianchen looked at Uzumaki Tomoko. The others also looked towards Tomoko Uzumaki, with a look of exploration in their eyes. Being watched by so many people, Uzumaki Tomoko bowed her head shyly, and then whispered, "Our Uzumaki family does have powerful detection techniques, but ordinary people can't master it at all. Only people with strong perception ability can master it." "Don't discuss this, the enemy has come." Rick Xianchen looked forward. Mikoto and Kushina, who were originally upstairs, also brought Xiaonan down and came to Rick Xianchen's side. "Chen, are they enemies?" Mikoto asked. "Mikoto doesn't need to ask. I can clearly feel the deep malice emanating from them," Kushina said with a serious expression. She could feel that the other party was not much weaker than herself. "Their dress is Anbu's dress, but they don't have a forward guard." "I don't know which shinobi village Anbu is," Nara Shikahisa said solemnly. "Because Anbu is performing special assassination missions, it is very important to hide your identity, so it is difficult to tell which ninja village is from the clothes. Generally, the forward protection on the body is the proof of identity, especially on the battlefield. If you don't wear a forward guard, unless you are very famous and the whole village knows you, you will be easily injured by your own people. Of course, the ninja costumes of the major ninja villages are not the same, and you can tell them apart by this. But Anbu is different. Anbu's tasks are carried out without forward guards, and the clothes are generally similar. If you want to tell which ninja village person is, Unless you are an experienced ninja, you can't tell the difference at all. Chapter 75 instantly kills Shangren and leaves. When the two Shangren faced Xiaonan and the others, they did not shoot directly, but took out a signal flare and put it first. No. They want to call someone. After seeing the flare, Naruto felt even worse. But they couldn't stop it. They could only hope that the flare was not waterproof, and the heavy rain could extinguish the flare. Otherwise, facing the two Xiaonan who didn't know what to do, if there were more ninjas, there would be no hope. The other party knew that this was a land of rain, and the flares he brought were naturally waterproof. The flares lifted off, and then exploded, and a huge blood-colored eagle head appeared in the air. Do it. Kill everyone except the target person. After sending the signal flare, one of the Xiaonan, wearing an owl mask, swooped towards Xiaonan. Do you take me as a target? Are you underestimating me? Xiaonan smiled coldly. He really didn't know whether to live or die. Xiaonan with an owl mask slashed out, splitting Xiaonan in half, but he was not happy at all. But his pupils shrank suddenly, because it was an afterimage. Your speed is too slow, Xiaonan said behind him with a smile. The owl-masked Xiaonan was startled, then stepped back suddenly. His expression dignified. You've already made a move. Wouldn't it be too rude if I didn't return the salute? Xiaonan raised his fist, without using chakra or any force technique, and threw a fist at the owl-masked Xiaonan. The powerful force squeezed the air, forming a vacuum fist, and slammed it towards the owl-masked Xiaonan. Boom! Without giving the other party time to escape, the vacuum fist imprint slammed the other party into the hotel, and the hotel where Xiaonan and the others lived for more than 10 days collapsed like this. And the Xiaonan who wore the owl mask had been bombed to death the moment he was hit. Gudong, Shengshu, Lujin the others swallowed wildly, and Xiaonan's violence was beyond their imagination, killing Xiaonan with one punch. If this punches me, I won't even leave the scum, Shengshu said blankly. No wonder you are so calm. Even a few more Xiaonan won't be enough for your punch, Naruto said with a wry smile, and at the same time he was relieved. With such a strong strength, it means they are safe. However, the power of Xiaonan really shocked him. Without using chakra, he could use at least the effect of a level ninjutsu with the strength of his body. Naruto could only sigh the monster. The other Xiaonan was also intimidated. In just a few seconds, his companion was gone. Go down and accompany him too. Thunder Spiral Pill. Xiaonan appeared in front of this Xiaonan in an instant, with a ball of lightning condensed in his hand, and greeted directly on the opponent's chest, opening a bowl-sized hole in the opponent's body. Then the thunder in the spiral pill shone, instantly covering the opponent, turning the opponent into a charred corpse. The two Xiaonan said a few words, and then hung up. The thunder spiral pill is a move developed by Xiaonan by combining the thunder fruit and the spiral pill. It can be thrown directly to attack, and its maximum power can flatten several mountains, which is not much worse than the tailed beast Jade. Seeing Xiaonan's two moves to solve the two Xiaonan, Shengshu murmured and asked, Chen, how strong are you? I don't know. Anyway, so far, I have never met someone who let me exert my best. Xiaonan shook his head and said, this time, it's not that Xiaonan is pretending, but that he really hasn't met anyone who can make him fight with all his strength. What a monster, seeing your strength, I can't believe that we are students of the same level. Yamanaka looked at Xiaonan and could only use the word monster to describe him. Anyway, he had never heard of anyone who could kill Xiaonan at the age of 10. Not to mention killing Xiaonan, even a 10-year-old ninja with the strength of Xiaonan, Yamanaka has never heard of it. Big brother is so powerful. Xiaonan blinked at Xiaonan, with a look of admiration in his eyes. In Xiaonan's eyes, from the moment he rescued her, Xiaonan had already been equated with God. Let's get out of here before their people come, Naruto suggested. Really, we didn't do anything. Why would there be Shangren to chase and kill us? Inuzuka Claw complained. Xiaonan glanced at Uzumaki Tomoko and didn't say anything. These people were obviously ninjas at the root, and they definitely came for this person, Uzumaki Tomoko. Don't say it, let's leave. Xiaonan hugged Xiaonan, then jumped up to the roof, walking like a flying above the steel high-rise building. Mikoto and Kushina also followed Xiaonan, and it was impossible for others to watch, so they also jumped up the tall building and chased after Xiaonan. Chen, are we going back to the village now? Luju asked Xiaonan. Well, now let's take a detour, avoid the battlefield, and then go back to the village. Xiaonan stopped and took out the map from his arms. Now we are in the southwest of the Land of Rain. If we want to return to the Land of Fire, the nearest road is to cross the battlefield. Me and Mikoto Kushina have no problem, but you may not have the ability. Even if you have me to protect you, the trouble is not small, so this road is the closest, but it will take longer, and there may even be accidents. Xiaonan took the map and analyzed them. Our current position is a bit embarrassing. If we want to return to the country of fire, we can only take a detour except to cross the country of rain. We are now in the southwest of the country of rain, close to the country of Quan, so we can only detour to the country of Quan. Country. Okay, as Chen said, take a detour to the country of the river. Naruto looked at the map and thought this was the best route. Among them, there are Nawaki, Hyuga Nisari, Uzumaki Tomoko, and Namikaze Minato. The three of them barely have the strength of Xiaonan, and the rest are the strength of genin. Although there are the unfathomable Xianchin and Kushina who can easily kill the Xiaonan, but crossing the battlefield is too dangerous. Even the elite Xiaonan may fall, not to mention them. So Xianchin and the others changed their direction on 1.3 and moved in the direction of Quanzigo. 10 minutes after Xianchin and the others left, the Blood Eagle led the other Oop ninjas to the hotel where Xianchin and the others were staying. Looking at the dilapidated hotel and the scorched corpses on the ground, Xiang felt that his heart was boiling with anger, and he had never been so angry before. Too rubbish, who can't even take down a just graduated genin, and actually died here. It's not even a rubbish. Follow the traces and chase after me. Be sure to find those little mice before Anbu. Although it is raining now, Xianchin and the others have just become ninjas, and they are inexperienced, leaving a lot of conspicuous traces. Following these traces, the Blood Eagle leads people to catch up. After the people at the route left, Anbu, who seemed to be always a step behind, also found here, and then followed the traces. If you like this audiobook, subscribe the channel for more videos like this. Leave some comment and let me know if you guys like this story, or you have a web novel you like and want to hear its audiobook. I will be happy to create them for you. Please like, share, and leave a comment on the video.